Welcome to this post-run yoga stretch. In this practice, we'll focus predominantly on stretching your hamstrings, your calves, your ankles and Achilles, your quads and outer legs, IT bands. You don't actually need a mat for this practice if you don't have one, but you might like to have a folded up towel or blanket for when we lunge to support the knee. If you are super tight in your hamstrings and calves from running, you might also like to have to hand some yoga blocks. If you don't have those today, a couple of big books or something you can rest your hands on like a chair in some of the folds so that you can find safe alignment. So we're going to begin standing. And just place your feet about your hips distance apart, parallel to each other. And rest your hands together. As you stand tall, rise up through the crown. You'll breathe in deeply and out slowly. If you can, breathe in and out through your nose through your whole practice. Breathe in deeply again down towards your belly. Take your time. And as you exhale this next time, start to fold forwards. So from your hips, you start to fold. And as I mentioned just a moment ago, you might benefit from reaching for books or blocks so that you can keep your back nice and straight rather than rounded. And hinge from your hips, that's tailbone up, pelvis starting to tilt forwards until you feel a stretch in your calves or your hamstrings. This is a super difficult pose to start with if you are on the tighter side. So just take some deep breaths here and don't force anything. I'll take 2 more. In and out through your nose. Like a wave with your spine, like you grow longer on your inhales and deepen on your exhales. On your next exhale, bend your right knee. Keep your right heel glued to the floor so your right hip drops lower than the left. This will start to stretch more into the outside of the calf or the outer thigh, IT band for many people. Take a couple of breaths in this too. And we'll switch sides. Stretch your right leg fully straight. And exhale, bend your left knee. Keep your heel anchored. Left hip will drop lower than your right. Stretching all the way through the outer right leg there. Wonderful. Stretch both legs out straight. Lengthen out through your spine. Big inhale. Move your blocks off to the side if you have them. And take a big step back with your left foot. Turn all 10 toes towards the long edge of your mat or to the left side of your space. Slightly turn your toes in and heels out. Take a breath in. And just like we did a moment ago, tailbone up. Pelvis tilts forwards into a fold, and you can rest your hands right under your shoulders or walk them through between the feet to gently pull you into the fold. It can be interesting in this pose to play around with the weight distribution in your feet. So if you feel really heel heavy, gently and carefully moving towards your toes and vice versa. No sudden movements so that you can maintain your balance. And we'll come up and out with the chest. Bend your left knee, turn your left toes out a little bit, and start to shift your hips down and to the left. So this is your side lunge or skandasana. Make sure your left toes point the same way your knee is going. And as you sink down, keeping your back really straight, this tends to stretch your inner thighs for most people. So keeping your hips at knee height is a great option, especially if you have some knee tightness or quad tightness. You might prefer to keep your hips at this height. If you have the space, you might like to sit down towards your left heel more. Keeping that left heel on the ground will stretch into the Achilles and calf more, rather than letting it pop up. Popping up won't cause isn't any danger to anything, but you may feel more of a stretch if you keep it down. You can take your hands off the ground if that feels good to you, but you can also keep them down, as I'm going to do, just for a little bit extra support. Take another breath. And we'll spin to the left, all the way onto your right toes. All 10 toes face the same way now, and drop your back knee down to the floor. I'm going to come into a runner's lunge, so you'll bend the left knee generously, shifting the hips forwards and down. Both hands on the floor. If you can't quite touch the floor, you could use your blocks again to bring the ground up to you some. And we're going to take a runner's lunge that's more active, so tuck your right toes and press back through your right heel as you sink down through the hips. And you'll feel like you're pressing your chest and left knee forwards as your right heel is pressing back. Just creating a little bit of space here through the hip flexors. Sink your hips down. Another deep breath. And lower the back knee down again onto the floor or your support. Slide your hips back and into a half split. This is another great place to use your props. If you feel your back rounding, elevate the hands so that you can hinge forwards without rounding your back. It can be really nice in this particular expression when you run a lot to point and flex your left foot quite generously, just to try and wiggle loose a bit in your ankle and your calf. If you start to not feel the stretch so much, feel like you're arching your back when your foot is flexed and leaning forwards and down until you feel just the right amount. One more deep breath here. Wonderful. We'll come forwards. Let's cross right ankle behind your left and stand again. So you've got right foot to the outside of your left foot, as close to each other as you can. Blocks are helpful. Toe it up, start to bow down. We're now into the back of your outside of your right leg, into the IT band outer hip again. If you like more intensity, walk your hands around to the left. No forcing anything. Wonderful. Come back to center. Extend your right foot back. Walk your left foot to the left so your arms are inside your leg. You can lower your back knee down, and this is maybe where you choose to put some cushioning under your right knee if you hadn't already. So that could be a yoga mat. You could fold up a blanket or a towel or a shirt. And we'll start by letting the left knee go wide. So you'll roll onto the outside of your left foot. You'll be able to see your sole of your foot more, and let the knee go really wide so that you start to stretch your glutes now. You can do this on your forearms if you like that expression, but hands is also great. So a height that feels good to you. And bring your knee back up towards your shoulder. Put your right hand on the floor to the front right side. Bend your right knee. Now be careful with this one. If the hold here isn't a comfortable reach for you, staying in this lizard pose is great because you're already stretching through the front of a right hip a good amount. But if it's possible, bend your right knee and reach around with your left hand for your right foot and gently pull that foot in towards you for a quad stretch. And quads can get super tight. So like I said, if this is not a comfortable reach for you, you can remain in the lizard pose where you're already getting some extension through that muscle. Keep your right arm nice and strong. It can also help to gently engage the right glutes here to release the right quad more. And release your foot all the way back down. Tuck your toes under, pick up the knee, spin back around to the right now, so you're back facing the way you were a moment ago in your wide-legged position. Adjust your feet to get yourself just the right distance for you. And we're going to fold down the middle again. Your choice here is to keep your hands on the ground, or when I run a lot, I'll also put a lot of tension in my shoulders by accident. So if you clasp your hands at your low back, you can lift the hands gently away from you to stretch your shoulders at the same time. If that doesn't feel great to you, of course, keep your hands on the floor or take any other expression that does. And release your hands if you took the clasp. Bring them all the way down to the floor. Spin over to the right, Skandasana or side lunge. Right knee bends. Option 1 here to stay about hips at knee height. A little bit of an arch in your back as you sink down. If you're feeling a stretch here and it feels good, hold that. Remember, you do have the option to sit down onto your right heel a bit more, trying to keep your right heel on the ground if you can, so you're stretching a little bit more through the back of your ankle. If you have a pose without the hands on the floor, you're welcome to take that expression too. Sometimes the support can feel nice. You're doing good. Take another breath. And let's turn towards the right. Pick your hips up enough to spin to the right. Lunge shape. We'll start by lowering the knee down just while you get settled. Hands on blocks or on the floor. Oh, mine were at the other end of the mat. Yours are probably too. If you need them, grab them. And we'll take that slightly more active version if you like. So the hips sink down. Tuck your left toes under. Press your left heel back, keep your hips nice and low. So heel back, chest and right knee forwards, shoulders away from your ears. Just a nice active stretch through the hip flexors. And we'll lower the left knee down. If you need your blocks for a half split, grab them now. Stretch your right leg all the way out. And start to bow down, the foot towards your shin, chest towards your foot, until you feel a stretch. And those blocks can be right underneath your hands, under your shoulders. So they're just extensions of your arms if you need them. And if you did on the other side and it felt good, you can point and flex a few times. Just to try and loosen up the back of the ankle and the calf, your lower leg. We'll hold for a few more moments. Gently pulling your right hip back and chest forwards. It's like your left shoulder could reach out towards your right little toe. And we'll bend. You might travel with your blocks if you needed them for that pose. Bend the front knee, pick up the left knee and step forwards, left ankle behind right. Cross-legged fold. Tail lifts up again. Start to bow down without rounding your back. And stretch now. For a lot of people, this is outside of the left leg. You may feel it somewhere else. That's okay. You have the option to stay here or to intensify this if you like by walking your hands to the right. And we'll come back to the center line if you walk to the right. Step your left foot back. Put your hands on the floor. Walk your right foot out to the right side of your mat and lower your left knee down either to your blanket, to your mat, or to whatever you're putting your knees on. Right knee goes wide out to the right. So you roll onto the very outside of your right foot. You could hold on to your hands here. You could be down on your forearms. You could be on blocks at a halfway point. Wherever you are is good. This is more targeting the glutes, or the right glute, should I say. Just a few more breaths in this. And bring your right knee back up towards your shoulder. Left hand forwards and to the left, so just slightly away from you. And remember, you can stay right here. If your quads are on the tighter side, gently sink down through the hips, squeeze the left glute and stay here. This is perfect. If the availability for a deepening is there, you're going to reach right hand for left foot. But don't force anything. If you get that hold, gently pull the foot in towards you. Keep strong through your left shoulder. Squeeze the left glutes to help release the left quad. And if you feel yourself fighting the pose, can you relax into it a bit instead? One more breath. And the exhale, you can release. And bring your hand down. This time, we're going to step your left foot to the right, nice and wide here, just a little wider than your hips, should I say. And lower down into a yogi squat. So you might need to shimmy side to side a bit. This pose can also be really tricky if you're on the tighter side in your hips or your quads. So you can roll up a blanket again for your heels. I'll just make it work for you today. We're only here for a few moments. Elbows inside the knees, chest is up. That's one of our last poses here. And we'll come back into our forward fold where we started. Feet parallel. Lift up halfway. Your blocks should be close if you need them. And fold. And just like we did in our wide-legged fold a moment ago, if you tend to accumulate some shoulder tension too, you can interlace your hands behind you and give it another stretch right here. If you have some low back tension, you could opt to bend your knees instead. We'll take 3 more deep breaths. If you did clasp your hands, bring them back down carefully, low back first, then to the floor. Halfway lift, hands up to thighs, squeeze your shoulder blades together. And a gentle fold, perhaps bend your knees. Push through your feet, start to stand up again. Roll your shoulders back a couple of times. Bring your hands to prayer just like we started. Let's take another deep breath in together. And out together. Thank you for joining me. Namaste. If you enjoyed this practice, please remember to like the video and subscribe. Thank you.